Ananias. That was as perfect as it would have gotten. And if you want to exist in a perfect church, expect that similar things are going to happen. And what you may consider to be small things, because what they did in today's church would have been considered to be a small thing. But when you're talking about a perfect God and all that He stands for, be careful. Be careful how you look at people within the body of Christ and how you cast aspersions. Just like today, that's what we're talking about. Christians who will do things and then the entire body of Christ pays for it. Or some people claiming not to want to come to Christ as a consequence of Christians that they see or pastors that they think is unworthy to carry the word. Let's go to chapter 5 of the book of Acts. And it says, from verse 3, so but Peter said, Ananias, why had Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? What had happened here is that these people sold land, right? They sold the land. And what they did, they said they were going to, because they were trying to mimic a brother in the church who was doing things like this. They wanted praise. So what they did, sold the land, kept back part of the money, and then said that they gave the entire money. That, at this point of time, was east in the body of Christ. It would have caused a lot of problems because it was introducing sin, what people consider to be a little sin, but in the sight of God, sin is sin. They have different sides of sin, of course, because they have different consequences. But people would have thought that this was a little sin, not in the sight of God. And He established this. The Bible says that these things are written as an example for you and I. So Peter asked him, he said, why lie to the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is God. You can't lie to the Holy Spirit. It says, while it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thy heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. You see, you want that perfect church. You're agitating for the perfect church. And we should want to have the perfect church. But we should be doing what we think is right in the sight of God. Not looking at other people, but we ourselves, what we are doing to contribute to a perfect church. That is what we should be bothered about. We should not be worried about Tom, Dick, and Harry, like they say in Creole. Worried about Tom, Dick, and Harry, and worried about what they're doing and not worrying about yourself. The Bible says, before you could see to fix what is in somebody else's eyes, you should fix what is wrong in your eyes, that you can see. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all them that heard these things. So he died. He died. And he said that the people who heard this were frightened. And that's where we need to be. When you're thinking about a church where things are not going the way they ought to be going, be afraid. What is it that you're taking to church? Some people don't want to worship. Some people don't want to do nothing. Some people stay in church and do all kind of crazy stuff. And some people are not wrong by pointing out these things. So it's not only looking at the one who is pointing finger at the Christian, but the Christian himself or herself should be careful of what they're taking into church. And yes, those of us who are in the body, we ought to do things the way God wants us to do things. But those who are outside should not watch our shortcomings and say, as a consequence of that, I won't go to church. Because I'm telling you, if that's what you want, none of us will go to church. Not a single one. Because as we look at the leaders in all the churches, we will see faults. But what does the Bible say? Come as you are. So Ananias drops down dead. And then it shows something else here because it goes further. You know, me and my wife, she points out my wrongs, I point out her wrongs. We can't collude on wrongdoing. We should not. And it says here, and the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. So she don't know, she comes. She don't know what had happened. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. So he points out and he says, the Spirit of God is leading this man. He said, why you two agreed to do that? He said she should have said to her husband should have said to her, whoever brought up the idea, no, we can't do that. We are responsible for each other. I hear people say things about loved ones who have not come to Christ. Left alone, man, when you're ready. And I say, but how can you as a Christian say that when you don't even know how much time the person have left, how much time you have left? We should be desperate to get our families to get in. We should be very careful how we operate in the body of Christ.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place me ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place me ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. I'm coming back to your heart.
Foundations. Your work must be grounded upon solid rock, and so should your faith. Join Pastor Louis Wade Jr. weekly for Foundations Bible Study, where he goes deep into the Word of God with biblical teachings for better understanding.
A person might have potential inside of them, a desire to fulfill something, but the word of the Lord can bring that out of a person. Amen? So in the case of Gideon, though he felt that he could not do it, God had designated for him to do it. And so when God spoke the word through the angel, Gideon became who God knew he was all along.
Tune in on PlusTV Sundays for a new program or catch the repeats. We would love to hear from you. Write in and share your thoughts, prayer requests, or even pose questions you may have regarding the Bible passages. Foundations. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain.
So when we face God, when I think of the love of the Lord.
Spice up your next event with professional lighting. Call 610-5679 and give your audience an experience they'll never forget. Proper stage lighting ensures stage visibility, motivates, and sets the mood of the atmosphere. We provide services for weddings, concerts, parties, dance recitals, and much more. Captivate your audience. Improve your production today. Call Shamax Productions at 610-5679 for quality and professional stage lighting.
Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Bubba Pan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
Do you enjoy learning and wanting to know more about Christ your Savior? Then join Phil Sanders in Search of the Lord's Ways every Sunday 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on PlusTV for half an hour of beautiful hymns and Bible messages. Messages are repeated on Tuesdays at 1:30 and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Search in the Word for God's will. Know more and do more for the God we love. In Search of the Lord's Ways with Phil Sanders is being brought to you by the Church of Christ in your area. Be sure to visit.
Mopping, tiles, furniture, and...
Miss, you don't need all of this, man. only this you need. We make 4 out of this. And it's cheaper than all of them put together.
I want it.
Green Clean. All your cleaning needs in one bottle.
You are my inspiration, seeing you happy and how quickly you grow. You are so tiny yet so smart. You have the most sacred place in my heart. I know you thought I was strong. If only you knew my strength came from you. All I think... Sir, don't you think you're a little bit too big for this story time?
Excuse me? What about all this discrimination? As far as I'm concerned, I identify as a 4-year-old. Besides, I hear this children's book have pictures, and everybody like pictures, right?
Yeah.
Read away, please.
I do all I think you need and ask. I pay attention with love and care. I love her most even when I think you're not there. My name is Madeline Tucker, and I am the author of My Inspiration. And you can purchase this at any of the Angeles Press locations and also on Amazon. Conducting a defense biosecurity operations against a rapidly mutating colony of foreign microbial invaders attempting to establish residency within the human host.
Oh, so germs.
Join medical graduate and author Madeline Tucker for 60-Second Health Talk, a brand new PlusTV series packed with quick and easy to understand health tips. Understand your body, how it works, and making informed choices for everyday wellness. Learn something new in just 60 seconds. Watch 60-Second Health Talk every Monday on Rise and Shine at 7:30 a.m. on PlusTV. 1 minute, valuable health information, better living.
Las noticias, ahora también en español. Durante 20 años.
In Toledo, your land is your biggest asset. It is where most families invest all their cash. It provides your food and, in many instances, your livelihood. But a proposed law could take control of private land and transfer it to village ownership. Even with legal title, your property rights could be extinguished, even if you owned it before 2015 when the consent order was signed. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity, if your land is declared Maya customary land, it will be owned by the village. And while we wait, confusion grows, misinformation spreads, and uncertainty is taking hold. As written, this bill may require a constitutional amendment, meaning this could extend beyond Toledo to all of Belize. This bill is too important to rush. Let's fix it, discuss it, and get it right. Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited, protecting property rights through dialogue.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Bubba Pan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef.
Good morning, Belize, and welcome to another edition of Rise and Shine. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I wasn't able to be here yesterday, so we didn't have a show. What you saw really was a repeat, but I'm certainly glad to be here this morning. So we've put together a very good show for you, and we trust that you are going to stay with us. We'll be opening up our telephone lines as well, 822-2031, to get your questions and your comments. If you ever feel that we're not asked the right questions, well, you know, the phone line is always open. So today is the 14th of July, so we're kind of halfway through the month of July already, and June we may talk about how never the rain. Well, over the weekend, the gates of heaven opened over Belmopan and around Belmopan. I think up to 10 inches, I heard the chief engineer say. Clearly, we did not know of the weather patterns that were going to take place over the weekend, or we would have told you. We do a morning forecast every weekday morning and prepare you for the weekend, but the meteorological department is saying that these kinds of systems are not being picked up by the radar. So do we need to improve our radar system? It should not be that the capital city of Belmopan can just all of a sudden become inundated, and the water didn't really come from anywhere. I need to make that clear, because Belmopan sits on a hill. We're not in a valley where water from other places come here. So we do have a Belmopan problem, contrary to what our leaders might be saying, that it is not so much a Belmopan problem. Yes, it is true that there is a lot of deforestation that is taking place outside of the city. So that is, but that didn't bring the water into the city. That water that's outside of the city was competing with the water inside of the city to make its way into the river. And so we have a problem in Belmopan, and you can, if the drain overflow, the drain is too small. If the drain carry the two sides, the water, they tell you the drain need to be bigger. If the water stop in front of a culvert and farm one dam, it tell you the culvert too small. And if the water take the road and the pour across like one waterfall, that's to tell you that either there is no drainage, inadequate drainage, poor drainage in that particular area, and the street become the drain. So let's not deny what the whole world saw. Let's not deny what the residents of the city experienced, and let's fix the problem. So you can't tell water where to go, and water don't vote. water do what water want. And so the demonstration that we saw shows that we are unprepared for Category 3, Category 4, Category 5, which was why Belmopan was built. So, good morning, Kerm.
Great introduction. Good morning. Louis, I heard, I was watching a talk show and
somebody said the water will try to wash away the sins of Belmopan. We've been too much in the news. Continue, sorry about that.
But, you know, Belmopan is the place that was designed as a place of, you know, in the Bible they talk about the city of refuge.
Yes, right.
So if the hurricane come, and people from Belize City normally would have run to Belmopan, then to whom shall we go now?
Right, to whom shall we go?
That is the question. To whom shall we go? But I want to start off with a story this morning.
Okay, go right ahead.
So my daughter she's studying and she's out there in Tulsa, between Tulsa and Dallas. She came home for the holidays, so we went down south. And I think I shared this story already, but I need to share it again because while traveling south, every minute my daughter wants to stop. She wanted to take photos. She was awed at the beauty of our country. And we live here. Sometimes we could take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
But every minute she said, "Oh man, that's so beautiful. Oh wow, you know." And but I'm saying that to say we have a great country, a beautiful country. And right now we have a lot of problems. And we have a great people to serve, a great destiny to fulfill. And so, you know, I feel that, you know, as Belizeans, we all have to put our hands to the plow to ensure that our country fulfill its purpose, you know. We've been praying a lot, Lois. You know, you've joined us, right? We've been praying for this country, and Belize has beautiful people, man, beautiful land. When I go to America, listen, it don't take long for the people and ask me where I come from, you know, and they say, how an accent. I know I don't really belong there. I belong
we don't got
here.
no accent, Denga accent.
Or Denga accent, right? But I'm in their land, you know, I'm in their land, and so we don't have nowhere to go. This is a home. And we're going to make sure if we need to fix drain, we fix it. Whatever we need to be fixed, we need to fix it because we have a great people and a beautiful country and a great destiny to fulfill. And all Belizeans are worthy of it all. I see the guys in, I'm watching the games in Costa Rica, and if you're following the volleyball, I'm a volleyball fan because of my son. But we won the first 2 games. Awesome. That's what we want. We want Belize to become a great nation for all of us to enjoy. And that's why we're here on the show this morning, to talk about things that will help to shape the future and the destiny of this country, right? So
it's absolutely right. It's a beautiful country, and we can't ignore the problems. Problems are there to be solved. We don't believe in just talking about problems for problems' sake. I always say we don't live inside of Eden.
Yeah.
We do fool and we were thrown out of Eden. We're in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And wilderness has wilderness problems. So there are problems. How do we fix them? How do we solve them? How do we advance? The dominion mandate of Genesis says, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, replenish it.
Yeah.
This mandate still exists, has been given to every human to develop, to produce, to fill the earth, to expand, to do better. It drives national development, it drives creativity, which is why we belong in the conversation. I don't agree that Christians should be out of the conversation. I don't care what they call me, devil or what. I don't care. I have a very, very clear understanding of the Constitution of Belize, which gives us a kind of freedom to speak, which is why I do not support the use of the cyber crime law by hungry politicians to hunt down those who speak freely. I believe in freedom of speech, Kerm.
Absolutely.
Because to have freedom of conscience, but not have freedom of speech.
I get sick.
Think about it, but you can't say it. You know,
sick.
So we believe in that. So I always call Belmopan the second city because there's a first city, which by the way was not inundated by floodwater over this weekend.
Just saying.
This was a second city problem. But Belize City, of course, I think over, at least the last time I checked, was over 90,000. It probably jumped 100,000 by now. So it's the largest municipality. And coming in a few months' time is the municipal elections. 9 municipalities, 2 cities and 7 towns. I really think that time Mango Creek also become a town. Ladyville should become a town.
Yeah.
Bella Vista, right outside Mango Creek, by the way, is an extremely large village and needs to become a municipality, in my opinion. But we have 9 so far, and we can see already in both the People's United Party and the United Democratic Party, people coming forward, red and blue, stating their intent or their interests. I think the team in Belmopan, the People's United Party, it appears that they want to go again. I don't know if they're going to be contested or uncontested. I haven't heard anything, but Belmopan has its problems of its own. In the United Democratic Party, I think there's one person that has stepped forward. Richie Galvez has stepped forward for the United Democratic Party to run as the mayoral candidate. They have not announced candidates, but I did meet one person who told me he's running for the UDP in Belmopan, which is Barry Montero. Well, he was my classmate, very good friend from very, very way back. Very happy that he's throwing himself into the political race. So he was Scenes of Crime. Not, is it Scenes of Crime or the white vehicle?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Scenes of Crime. But he's retired now, has his own business, and wants to run in the city. So I think that is very good. In Belize City, I think the news has been more looking at what's taking place in the PUP between the 2 candidates that are fighting for endorsements in the political process. I think they're 2 very good young men. Young men at that. I just love to see that. Not that I don't love to see young women too. I need to make that clear. but they're 2 young people that are vying for that post, and they will go to convention. In the United Democratic Party, my understanding, at least so far, is that 2 people have thrown their hats into the ring. Both of them friends of mine. Both of them I have known for many years. Many, as many as the white hair on my head. And I know Jackie Willoughby has been making the rounds in the city, but who also has been making the rounds is Phillip Willoughby. And so this morning, we have Mr. Willoughby with us in Belmopan. Yes. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
To Rise and Shine. It's a pleasure having you with us this morning. The city was kind of dry over the weekend.
Yeah.
You were watching Belmopan.
Yes, it was drizzling slightly. That's about it. We saw the clouds.
Yeah.
Came to hang with you guys over here. Spend a little time.
Accumulating over Belmopan.
Yes, sir. Can I plug this in?
Certainly.
Look, I don't want to sound like the ministry or the government failed us. I don't want to play politics with it. I don't know what transpired and why it transpired the way it did. But I believe the Education, Warning and Communication Committee within the National Emergency Management Organization probably dropped the ball, because I believe once the Met Office briefed the CABSEC, and I'm telling you standard operating procedures from within NEMO from the time I was there, how it was done. The Met Office briefs the CABSEC, the Prime Minister. At the beck and call, the Prime Minister could have the Minister of NEMO there with his CEO, the National Emergency Coordinator and the Deputy National Emergency Coordinator to discuss the day's events, or hour by hour, minute by minute, yes, and look at all the possible outcomes,
areas that are most
and what you need to do.
Potential.
Thereafter that briefing, I believe that there should have been a immediate partial activation of the essential committees that you know would have been needed. None of us knew, again, because the information wasn't there. I mean, you would have to have gone on a Facebook page or a news page.
Well, let's start with the fact that PlusTV is Belmopan's only media house,
yes,
largest
sir.
media house, one of the national media houses in the country, and they did not pick up the phone and call us.
Sad.
So when the flood waters began to rise, that's when we at PlusTV found out that something was happening. So we contacted them, not they contacted us. So
in Belize City, under my tenure, in my time, I would have set up shop at Love FM.
Exactly.
You are Belmopan Love FM.
Exactly.
From what you're saying, I would have set up, Mr. Wade, you don't mind? The Education Warning Communication Committee needs to be beside you, sending out the sit trips and the alerts in conjunction with NEMO and the Belmopan emergency committees. So once that briefing would have been concluded, then the alerts should have been consistent hour by hour, because it was Belmopan, surrounding villages, and down south. Toledo included were affected.
Came from the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development when the bridge was, when the road was closed.
Right.
When the road was at that point.
So in the essence of that,
there's a failure. There was a failure.
There was a gap. Like I said, I don't want to knock the system, because I don't know how they.
No Belmopan supposed to step out of bed and put my foot in the water and didn't know that there was something that was coming.
We know that the football games, you were in your volleyball, mode, but this is where the broadcasting commission or committee should have come in, block the TV, send out the alerts, mass text blasts or multimedia text blasts, smart and detail, so that in the event, what if there was a mass casualty situation on the highways or national highways, then
we didn't expect Mira to call, but we thought the mayor at least we thought at least the mayor or the person in the city responsible for it. So but straight talk, we don't
just we don't
run around the bush.
I think it was there.
Why is there a repeat on?
I think it is there. There was a slip. The Education Warning Communication Committee has to step up the ante, and
there's NEMO and CMO, right? CMO,
the city emergency team,
CMO,
the committees,
right. They did not activate.
That's unfortunate. That's sad. That cannot repeat itself, and I hope the minister of NEMO is listening, or somebody brief him and tell him. Tells him how this thing works.
I think we should brief him personally,
right?
Because we should have been at the center of helping to disseminate information.
Right.
And as I said, none of them in Belmopan, none of their pages are even close to as popular, etc., etc., etc. But anyway,
I hope this is a learning lesson for Belize City.
Next time it will be Noah and the Ark, because well, to many of you who lost property, thank God no lives were lost, but I know that revenue was lost. We know that resources were lost. We know that time was lost, and people were displaced. And so, please let us know if there's any way that we can help here at PlusTV and Rise and Shine. Of course, there is all infrastructure, which always does very well. The British structures still hold up better than what our Belizean engineers have done. Now, I need to state, however, that because construction is taking place on the highway, we know that there is the that they are upgrading for these kinds of things, but then in the process, temporary structures had to be put up on Mount Pleasant, etc., and that could have, the temporary measures could have helped to back up the water to a certain extent, but they were clearly also inadequate. Clearly inadequate. So, but that's what happened, and I don't like when our leaders try to say like it's not a Belmopan issue. You know, if we go to Cancun on a weekend and we are robbed in a hotel in Cancun, we can't say, the mayor of Cancun can say it's not a Cancun problem. Yeah. So we have had more than one instances where murder has taken place in Belmopan, and the comments have been like, well, it's not Belmopan, like these people are just coming to Belmopan. So, well, if it happened in Belmopan, you have a security problem in Belmopan, because they didn't say, let's catch him while he's in Belize City, let's catch him on the highway. They said, let's catch him in Belmopan, so you have a Belmopan problem. So this attempt to try to sanctify the city is not a good strategy, because you know through leadership that if that it starts with us. We cannot change anybody or another situation. So if the problem is not a Belmopan problem with the water, and the water just konya, then it's not our problem. So we're automatically now throwing it on to somebody else. While leadership analyzes and see where we have a problem here and then rectify.
It's about creating a problem before it exists. So when it does exist, you already have the mechanisms to implement. And so I think that's what Mr. Willoughby is saying. Right. So that's leadership. It's foresight. You have to be able to go before, create the problems, right? And then you fix them, right? And so, you know, I don't know. I can say a lot about it. But
this is where experience comes in. You had a structure within NEMA that was working quite fine, excellent, even to say. I don't know the reason why Colonel Sheldon DeFore was dismissed or retired from NEMA. This man is the vault of NEMA, you know. He taught me, he brought me up within the NEMA system and structure. Now he's no longer there.
So who is there?
Well, the Governor General's husband is now the National Emergency Coordinator. But what I'm saying is, this anomaly, if I can call it an anomaly, that Belmopan faced over the weekend, would have never affected you all, not the physical infrastructure with the flooding, but in terms of the preparation of the relevant committees within the NEMA structure to respond, would never have happened the way it happened under Colonel Shelton DeFore's watch. I'm telling you, he would have came down hard on the district coordinators, the regional coordinators. He would have even had to call in the other coordinators to come in to set up incident command centers on the ground to assist the NEMA structure here in Belmopan, and we would have fallen in line and executed as per the standard operating procedures that guides NEMA. And again, it was a disappointment, but I hope they rectify it and fix it for future events.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the other city, the city that did not flood. As people supposed to run from there to here. But not anymore. You better think again before you run here, because you might not reach, or you might can't go back when you want to go back. You might running from the frying pan into the fire. So, but we're going to be on top of that as your media host coming out of Belmopan. So there's more. As I said, I couldn't make it yesterday. I really had urgent matters to do. But we are going to continue to look into what happened and where the breakdown took place. Now, let's talk a little bit about your interests, if I could define it as that so far, because so far, like, we're seeing Jacqueline Willoughby is out. Oh my goodness! It's ringing a bell. Two same name. And then there's Patrick Willoughby.
No, Philip Willoughby.
Philip Willoughby. I'm sorry. Did I say Patrick before? I hope this is the first time I said Philip. But
imagine you used to teach at ESCC, I used to stress me out.
The man was my student in a course. Yeah, very good. Super proud. But your interest in
being a
managing,
the mayoral aspirant.
Yes, managing the city of the big city. That's what the mayor does in his lead the city.
In his capacity as
your
mayor.
Interest, yes.
So before I jump into that, politics, right? And because you're a pastor and God-fearing and the talk show foundation is on the Word of God, I have to say, because I'm here and you know the experiences, the journey of Phillip Willoughby, you have to have patience like Joe being at this business, pastor. And every day you get up, you have to ask God to give you grace like Jesus, so you could give back grace. And that is simply because the love for humanity, the passion, the purpose you have, the willingness to want to serve. Daniel had to be patient, and you have to ask for the wisdom of Solomon. So I always keep that in the back of my mind whenever you look at the career of being a politician or looking to enter into the political field. So I applied to my party to be a mayoral aspirant. I got a response letter saying that it was accepted. And
how long have you been entertaining the thought of saying, I believe that I'd like to one day run the city?
Back in 2018.
2018.
Remember, I went to a convention against my colleague at the time, Dion Leslie. The party beat me up, man, you know. And that is all fair game in politics. That's everyone's democratic right to choose who they want to again support. And I went up against the institution and I lost. You can't say it's unfair. It's a big man game, and it was my choice to stay in and fight. And you learn lessons from it with all good intentions. And I ran for council at the time, topped the post for the UDP. I almost edged out Albert Van, but he won. And you lose by one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're out. You're out for the time. So I had aspiration and ambitions from then. That didn't go away. I did enter into the prayer of general elections for Parliament.
What
I lost twice. Port
Loyola.
I lost twice, but
yes.
losing for me, the conditions were never right, Pastor.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Mr. Martinez was at Port.
Yeah.
I became his successor. He was then asked to run in Pickstock. And you know, when that transfer period come up,
people move.
Gone, they gone.
Move,
But why do that? We end up lose 2 seats because of that move, and you never show up their election out there for face Honorable Marla. Then came the Shine situation and 2 leadership, 2 UDP, 4 candidates, the PUP. So the conditions were never right.
That's true.
I was never given a fair shot to get down on the ground and really campaign fairly with the wide and broader support from the party. It was at every turn there was some obstacle. But here I am again, back in the country. I'm pursuing a second master's degree, right? I've traveled extensively over the United States and Asia.
Picking up experience
and studying and so forth. So when I came back now, I took a break and I came back and I said, well, make a try this thing again with the ideas, the knowledge, the institutional experience, being at City Hall. I would have, out of all the candidates, pursuing a second master's, maybe amounts to something, having the experience amounts to something, seniority amounts to something. So with that in mind and the vision I have based on what I have experienced and seen abroad, I believe, why not Belize City? Why not now And through mediums like this type of platform, if the other aspiring mayoral candidates can use the ideas and mold it and narrate down to the betterment of their municipality, then take it. It's not mine, I don't own it, I don't want it. But if we are saying we want a better Belize, then let's all do it collectively and get it done. And that is the inspiration at this time. I mean, you could criticize and you could flag my ideas, it doesn't matter. I know deep down it's coming from a good place, and Belize at this time needs these ideas, I believe. I won't come on your studio or go into any studio identifying myself by adjectives, vision, new leadership, good governor. Nah, man, put your ideas out there. Let the people address you or characterize you as an individual, and then you go from there. I'm not supposed to describe myself and say all of this and explain one whole lot of nothing with no ideas, no vision. No, sir. So I am banking.
You have to break down for us.
Yes.
And our audience.
Yes, sir, I will. And that is my
what
intention.
you're talking about, let's get into some specifics.
Let's get into some specifics.
Yes, let's hear this.
First off, when I was on, I can mention other radio stations.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Sure.
when I was on Sun Up, Mr. Pollard was in the audience, right? And I said at the jump, should I be, and again, this appeal is to the delegates, the area representatives, and the caretaker of the UDP, because they are the ones who will have to make this decision. Yeah. I am pushing for the promulgation of, look, make we legislate for the UNCAC one time. This is a great and wonderful opportunity, not because of all the scandals that have arisen over the last, 3 weeks to a month now?
Yeah, it's been over a month.
Thereabout. It's because of the tax reform that I would like to share with the municipality and the municipalities. But coincidentally, here comes the acts of alleged corruption and how the business of procurement have been conducted and is being conducted. The Prime Minister wants to enact legislation for decentralization of a procurement unit, correct? Or a ministry or department.
Central procurement unit.
Cut through all of that. Just sign the UNCAC and all will be well. And even when you sign the UNCAC, it doesn't mean the heart of man no one try one thing or do one thing, but the cat one got teeth and you got claws. You understand? And there will be penalties and time within the system for anyone who commit acts of corruption or malfeasance, etc., etc. So the first order of business is for all new, young, up and coming, senior, old, middle age, everybody, we push for the Prime Minister legislate UNCAC.
You have a big check mark for that.
Thank you very much, sir.
I believe that is one of the things where Belize desperately need. We have to have it. I think it has already been signed. It needs to be ratified now, right?
Yes.
Well, it's signed and ratified, but not implemented. That's why I think the correct word is legislated. Legislated. It needs to now move from where the treaty, we say, we need it, and we accept that we need it and sign it, to where they're missing parts.
That's right.
I think everybody should just sit down.
And then penalties.
Penalties, big penalties.
I believe everybody should sit down. I'm not saying the protesting, the demonstrations aren't good, but I believe civil society, everybody need to come together and sit down and shut this thing down until we legislate the UNCAC laws. That they enable to it right there. That's my belief, This is Phillip Willoughby saying this. This isn't the United Democratic Party. I mean the party.
So what is the United Democratic Party saying? Do you know? Because
I believe
this is what Belize needs.
I believe the party leader has commented on it at the rally. I was told. I didn't hear her entire speech because you're speaking with people, but I believe she mentioned it. But listen, let that be the business and the order of the day. give us the UNCAC laws. Who don't want to venture in our politics because of the laws, then better for the country, I believe. Exactly. Melvin Hulsat is saying, if you work the money, you can't, and if you steal the money, you can't work it. Yeah. So we rather work the money for the betterment and development for the people and country of Belize. That's the end all to it. Why is it when we travel outside Belize, we see so much wonderful and beautiful things in cities abroad? And then you say, why not Belize? And how come not us? Like we aren't deserving? I mean, the ideas out there, the technology is out there, the infrastructure is out there. Why not Belize? So the politicians are setting back Belize or have set back Belize. And then what it is that my generation will be handing over to the subsequent generation to come, to the future. So that is what this platform is all about. Passing the baton rightfully with the right ideas, the right set of laws to protect and safeguard the future. You can't say you love the country and you love Belize, and you don't want to do what is in the best interest of the country.
Absolutely. I have said it. I said it when UDP was in and PUP was out, and I'm repeating it again now that UDP is out and PUP is in. That you should not wait until your party gets into government to write the bill that you will pass once you get in. If you are serious, write the bill now. And I'm not saying it to you individually, but I'm saying to your party, because you will one day again form the national government. So if PUP was really serious about, while they were making a lot of noise and in opposition, if they were serious about the corruption of the then administration of Dean Barrow, why did they not write the bills? They write in a manifesto, we will, but then they didn't put together the whistleblower legislation, for example, to say, here is the bill once we get in that we are going to pass within the first one. Right, exactly. You understand? So there's nothing right now for the United Democratic Party to move from talking and noise to say, not just we will pass this or we promise you will do this for UNCAC. What of UNCAC? Put it down in black and white, say, see the bill here that we are going to pass when we get in. You understand? Tangible. And so I'll give you an example of PUP. They said they would remove Recondev. Go look in their manifesto and you will see it written in black and white. Plan Belize that Recondev is still operating right now. And the Minister Mira selected his team of committee. All of them have been removed from seat, and instead of saying, hey, you know what, we promised that this thing will go, you know, they're selecting another committee to sit as Recondev. You understand? So the woman know, like, I could speak my mind, and I have the mechanism to really speak it right, you know. So put it in writing so that when the party gets in, that all has to be done is just implement. You understand? So this is
lower house, upper house sign.
Absolutely. And we don't even have to have the cabinet approval, because you may don't approve it before you come in and the people don't know what you're. So yes, anti-corruption legislation with teeth, right? Penalties. Now I always bounce ideas off Lacelarno, and he bounced off as well with me. And one of the things he was talking about is that public officers and ministers of government, those who sit in the seat, that once they are caught up in a corrupt act, right? Yes, pending investigation, etc., not only should they be suspended, but if found guilty or if found that this kind of activity took place, not only should they lose their job and their post, but they should lose their pension. Let the pocket pay.
That's right.
Because as I was saying last week, they still walk away with the bag. Right? So they will risk to get the bag. And they will hold that bag on for as long as they could. Say, oh, it's a lie. hold the bag, right? Then when the thing they start to get released, they still hold on to the bag. Say, well, you know, I don't mind stepping back and let them investigate, but they still hold the bag. You see it? Then I reach a point where the results come out and they try spin it and can't spin it, but they hold the bag. So that even if say, okay, well, you will no longer be a minister, you can't run again for your representative, and they say goodbye and they disappear for a period of time, they still the whole.
Not directly though,
the bag.
because they're operating behind companies.
Right, and that's what the row 2. They're not in row 1. But they're in row 2, so that when the party win, or when the candidate win, then they're part of the committee. Because that's why we begin to see night meeting and shots of people they walk in and out. We're not in a row 1, but they're still there, right there in a row 2.
And there is the aspect of campaign financing as well.
Right. So you know, so these are conversations that need to be had, right, on the national level, right? So we have to take away the bag. We have to take away the bag, and that's where penalties come in. Now, as it relates to the city, so we've talked a little bit about UNCAC, and we do agree with that. But as I said, it needs to go farther from a party level, right? From a party level where the party demonstrates this is the bill that we will send through. We're able to look through it now, and you know me, I go in right through it, and I go in at the page where I set penalties. You know, and we want not just penalties but rewards in the case of whistleblower.
And I think it should be enacted
and protections
within the municipal bylaws. Yes, it will be enacted within the country's constitution, but it needs to become a part as well of the municipal bylaws. And why I say this would shoot missiles and torpedo across the municipal local government as well, because for Belize City, right, you hear about councillors, partners setting up companies to paint the municipal infrastructure, the city hall. Then the girlfriend or the wife or whoever collects the check. Can't be. The councillors are not to be supplying city hall in any way.
That's right.
If you sell, yes, it's a like Enron, it's a conflict of interest, because you have councillors who are in the business of supplying material to the market. The city council shouldn't be your main pipeline or your main vein, but you set it up in such a way that you buy back all this material for yourself without putting it out to tender. Or if you want to recapitalize City Hall, you recapitalize it because I have a business that does lending, and then you capitalize the city. No, it shouldn't be that way. And that's why I'm saying this UNCAC laws is very quintessential. And it has to be the mantra of the person who wants to lead City Hall to say, man, bring this UNCAC thing and create a level playing field, a fair playing field for the market to provide the services. It has to be that way. You can't build, no mayor should be building a street and the contractor is within the scope of works or the bill of quantities. This is the size of street, whatever this is. This looks like maybe 2 foot, 2.5 feet, but I want to give you for 1 foot less, but you're the bill me for 3. We can't run the city like that. You cheat the city, and then you have a lot of sidewalks that are broken up without the manhole covers, and I'll just say that big sticks all around the city in areas. But where is the money?
Publishing annual?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The last one I saw.
Audits,
yes, I have one in my vehicle. I was going over it. I think it was 2 years ago and probably last year. In that regard, they have published it, but you have to do the interpretation of it. And when you interpret figures or numbers, you may see it different. I may see it different, but what are we trying to derive, what to understand, where and what receivable represents by line item, what is totally outstanding or uncollectible, or where is it a bad debt expense? Will it go over to being a provision for a bad debt on the liability side of the balance sheet? And will it be statute bar? Will you have people up and down within the courts to try collect this money that you probably won't be able to? So it's all of that consideration you have to look at when you look at the expenditure side of City Hall and how they're spending and what they're spending on. I propose that for Belize City that the councillors, like we have 9 constituencies in Belize City, you assign 1 councillor per constituency. We are mandated to have public meetings. The council would have its ideas, and the information should flow up and down from the community or the constituency to City Hall, along with probably the representative, whether red or blue. And then we discuss these ideas, and then we act upon these ideas, based on what the community needs that is a priority at that time, collectively, rather than you do things in isolation and you do projects that goes nowhere, like it build a road to Alaska. Does that make sense? No. So it has to come from the communities or the constituencies that needs these ideas. So my point 2 would be, let's look at the tax reform that I have thought out with my cohort. Property tax, Mr. Way. I don't know what property tax is like here in Belmopan, where you're with your accounts receivable and how well those taxes are performing. In Belize City, there's a large pool of uncollectible property tax. Let's be frank up front.
Yeah, it's a larger percentage of non-performance in Belize City than Belmopan.
But you need those funds to build and develop a modern Belize City, a modern Belmopan, a modern San Ignacio, Santa Elena, whichever municipality. You need those funds. And that is one of the main veins that pumps in revenues to maintain and manage the city. So I'm saying to civil society, I'm saying to everyone out there listening, let us do the study to see if it's worth the while. I'm saying do the study. If we can eliminate the property tax and look at a consumption tax, of which the GST is about 12.5%, and you carry it up, I think the maths wouldn't have allowed to go beyond 0.5%. And let's do the maths and sit and discuss this and move away from property tax. The property tax is an unfair tax, you would say. It's unreasonable. It doesn't give incentives or reward. Because if you, Mr. Timbrell, paint your house, build your fence, nice up your house, nice up in front, what? Your property value gone up. That's more for you. So is that an incentive or a disincentive to uplift the community? And then you look at the high rate and frequency of delinquency.
Right.
Then you look at the political will to, again, legislate for the quintennial. Every 10 years, the property tax rate should be reviewed and go up by a percentage. But because election they come around, man, I don't know that we need to raise tax because, but that stunts the growth of the revenue stream that the city needs to have, because everybody are complaining, man, I got pothole on the street, the culvert not work, the sidewalk broke up, look on the park on the playground, look on the infrastructure. A myriad of complaints come in, but you don't have the wherewithal to do it. And
the GST is a collectible. I mean, you go shop, it's right up.
Right, it's a direct tax. So, okay, you may say, but Philip, I know own a property, but Mr. Timbrell, Mr. Wade, you use the city's infrastructure every day, and the city's infrastructure needs to be maintained and upkeep, and it needs to be expanded. If you look at Belize City right now, driving the George Price Highway and the Philip Wilson Highway, Jane Osha Boulevard, Belama, you would see the astronomical, I'm telling you, serious land clearing is happening at this time. So those land clearings and people wanting to build, wanting access to the property comes at a cost. And if you are running and operating and maintaining a city as if though we are still living in the 1980s, the value of the money you have, and we did at 2026, you aren't up to date, up to time to provide the services and infrastructure the city really needs. That is my thought.
Yeah, one of the things I notice about Belize City is that there is a lot of maintenance that goes into the traditionally maintained areas. So the more developed a part of Belize City is, the more attention they get. And you have places like Gungulung and the London Bridge areas that are just total, like they don't even have buffer for buff, and they're totally neglected. It's like they are a part of the city, but they have zero infrastructure. You go there during election time to get to harvest the votes of the people, but there is no deliverables. So if an area is already well cut, it will continue to be well cut. If the area gets garbage collection is going to continue. But there is no as an outsider looking in, because remember I come from the second city and not the first city, I do not see where the city council say, okay, our emphasis during this term or during this year is to bring these number of services or these number of into this zone, so that we're going to now take this particular zone and integrate it into the full city. So I pass year after year, and the cut areas remain cut, and the uncut areas remain uncut, and you understand?
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So remember, I precursored by saying, look, within the public meetings, the community know what it needs. The council, because we traverse the city, we know what the city needs as well. And within those discussions, you will lay the emphasis on the groundwork to accomplish that. I recall the mayor saying one time when he was behind the BDF camp by the Lord Reed Cemetery, when I say London Bridge area, I want to build cement house so all I want to know. But how? Ridiculous. Oh, Belize that 8,867 square inches, when I September speech. Like, come on. Like, just think about it. The people leading us, they give away one adjective, and then we just sit down gullible and accept this like we stupid. We are not elephants, and nobody know and lead your way or know where to go. But again, it's politics. So from within the confines of the office of the city engineer, if you recall the flood mitigation infrastructure project back in 2016 after we got TD16, one of the components within the project was a routine management maintenance system. You collect all the data from within the city. Name a street, pothole on a street, broken culvert, broken sidewalk, lamppost needed, lamppost light, canal needs to be clean. You name all the infrastructure work, park maintenance, broken swing, what needs to be done. The system then identifies to you on a daily basis how to go and proceed within a cycle. So no politician need to get up before hurricane season, put on our boots, run out there, we do clean up campaign. Like we still buy that in at 2026, when if you follow the system, you follow the technology, and you listen to the engineers and don't play politics with something like that, and then you see the benefits of really having an impact to creating the first step within the city's journey to becoming modern. That's the first step. So you follow the routine management, maintenance system structure. You don't go there, oh, because somebody called the mayor. Nobody need to call the mayor and remind the mayor about no pothole on no street, or tell one councillor about one drain need for clear. The system will have the city working around the clock to ensure it is properly kept and maintained within the tax restructuring that I am proposing. That would also take into consideration your garbage tax. There is a fee when you make any purchase at any store. You are generating waste. To move and dispose of that waste comes at a cost. You need one compactor truck, you need one department, or if you outsource it, these equipments are expensive to maintain. Sometimes I see around Belmopan they have pickup trucks picking up waste. So it's a reality. Let us move from underneath this rock and say we don't need the money to have the proper equipment that will enable us with the capacity and the capability to serve. That is tantamount to everything else, to what the city needs. Providing the service that it needs to create a modern, beautiful city. So I believe once civil society and all involved can sit down and agree to what that would look like, let us approach it. Let us consider it. And it would be for all municipalities and villages, because not tell me villages don't need park and playground too. Right. Not tell me they don't have community centers. Not tell me they don't have streets and drains, and similar to a city but on a smaller scale. And all you have to do is code the stores where you do purchases within your village, and you, whatever the amount is, let's say Belmopan property tax accumulates on an average yearly maybe 30 million. Whatever monthly comes in on top of the restructured composition of what the consumption tax would look at, the government just got one check to Belmopan City Council, and you would have the cash flow now. And remember, what is key here is signing the UNCAC legislation, because now municipalities will have access to capital, they will have access to cash flow, along with the monthly subvention that comes from government, to ensure they deliver for their city. But deliver, you have to deliver. You can't see this money and get clouded by it and run wild by it. It is there to provide the goods and services for the municipality. Hence the reasoning for the routine management maintenance structure system within the city halls or town halls, the UNCAC law to govern and keep you safe, and you just modernize and big up your city. These playgrounds compared, let's look at playgrounds compared to Belize City and what I've seen in the state of Connecticut, New York. Are they child friendly really? Are they friendly to children or elderly with diverse disabilities or adverse disabilities? Are they friendly to senior citizens? These are the questions you ask yourself. And look at what is available within the parks. You go to parks again in Connecticut, these little water parks. It's very simple. Concrete slab and different ways the water squirts out and sprays out. It's a fun family event for children and to just accumulate and have a great time. We haven't seen this here in Belize City.
Let me ask a question that's connected to that, because we're talking about the parks. I've been to Salvador with my son playing volleyball, and we walk the streets of Salvador. Safe. We enjoy the streets. And I was just looking on Facebook just now, and I signed something now. So 20 shots. Let me see. I think it's 20 shots fired. And then 2 people were murdered. Last time one was killed, and then over the weekend. And see, there it is. Gunmen fired 21 shots at mother and son in Cayo.
In Cayo, yeah, last
21. Crime.
That's not too far from the police station, I think.
Right? Let's say your crime plan, because corruption and crime right now, I think, are 2 of the big issues.
Yes, sir.
That is destroying our country.
Right.
What is your plan on crime?
I wonder if climate change is not equally, but we are jump climate, building a climate resilient city and tackle crime. I have been a part of several mediations, out several fires. That's documented, fact, gazette. And since I've came back, I've interacted with the young men. And one thing they told me and asked me to advocate for, you want to help the situation a little bit, one step at a time, look into this for me. Whenever there's a flare-up and there's a state of emergency pending to come, then gather up all of these young men, right? And what they do, put them at the various precincts, or at Raccoon Street or Queen Street. You hold one man for 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. You they build anger, frustration. Then you want these very young men that are frustrated to sit in a room listening to you. We got vehicle allowance, your big house, fancy ride, They tell me how to live in our system that these young men consider to be corrupt. And then you want them to negotiate. Can't work. It's like you got hyenas and lions, and then miserable, angry, frustrated, ready to go at each other. I get no result in that manner.
So are you identifying that corruption are part of the problem? Is that what we're hearing?
That's a reflection. Okay. That's a reflection of the wider society.
Yeah.
When you say the alleged payments through the procurement processes to businesses for providing or not providing quality or inferior quality produce, man, why that can't be me? Why they can't slip me something? And then when you go to Mr. Politician, he tell you he broke or he can't. Look where you're seeing at the news. So it paints a picture, even if it's an illusion or subliminal perception. You are seeing this, firsthand.
But even prior to that, though, because I've just been the advocate for one.
Go ahead, man. You need to push me and challenge me.
Push her, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
Prior to those leakage, the city had a lot of flare-up, especially Belize City, and I think Belize City is 3 in the country.
Right.
So I want to add that to the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Export.
Yeah, they export it. Like, let's kind of think they come from Belize. I believe that with all my heart.
Yeah.
So let's go per to that, because Belize City had a lot of problems. So I'm just adding that to the question. When you answer, if you can, how do we, and I want to add something else to the question. I don't know how favorable it will be to this one, but
no, man, yes,
me love Bukele, and I don't care who say it. There's certain things to stand for. I got in Salvador, and I swear up in there, right? So I want to add that to the question as well. Your Bukele position, and then your position in terms of how we want to fix this crime issue, because crime now a very, very serious thing. People are living in fear in our country from our politicians and the gunman. Same thing.
Yes, sir.
Right or wrong?
Yeah, some for their shadow. But right. The Bukele scenario, you have to be considerate to the UN charters with human rights. You know that was one of the big things when PUP was in opposition. And I don't want to play the political card, just stating the facts. Human rights. But the criminals, they violate my human rights.
Exactly.
So who they protect my human rights? But the attorneys, they line up, they protect for their human rights. Wrong. This is another tough one, than a simple one. Yeah. I think the time will come.
El Salvador no have any homicide for the last 900 days, which is 3 years.
They're making record.
0 homicide.
But you see,
so all the lives of the same gangsters who may have probably done dead, they're alive.
That's right.
True.
And they get training.
And some of the human rights people
and
into women,
they get training, right?
They living too.
So human rights, that's the problem.
They are the problem.
The United Nations is the problem. The liars are the problem.
True.
Because they literally value what they claim to be human rights over the true rights of life. Like the right to life is the ultimate. Because if you're dead, you're done. So the right to life, including the life of the gangsters, is very important. And the reality is that the crime in Belize City is out of hand. No other part of the country have state of emergencies,
No.
but the city that you come from.
Yes, we need to follow Bukele. I sincerely believe we should. We need to, but at the same time, I believe the government, the titular head of the state, the Prime Minister, right? He has a deal with the great United States of America, and how they look at human rights. And maybe
but America is currently pro-Salvador.
Yes.
But we and Salvador has always been a friend.
Yes, and they are taking in. So again, if in the past they would have been at loggerheads and bucking heads and said, man,
that is true.
We know I give you financial support, like the MCs. What you need the
MCC.
The MCC.
Yeah.
Man, because they do so and human trafficking and blah blah blah, drug trafficking and blah blah blah. No funding for no Belize. Sit down and fix that and then come back.
It's true. Come again. But that's when you have a bigger mentality, right? Which I know you're agreeing with me. That's a bigger mentality.
You see?
Right? Because now Salvador tourism does not have a closing season.
Booming.
Belize have an open and closed season, just like we got lobster season, and shrimp season, we got tourist season. Salvador, because it has become so attractive to the world, does not need hands out now.
Right.
Because it has cleaned up its app, and now it has. I have a friend who said that they were trying to book in El Salvador and couldn't get booking till another year or two from now because like there is no off season. You understand? So essentially, we believe in being tough on crime.
Right. I absolutely.
And one of the biggest problems with Belize City, I've said it here before, is loitering. Right? Loitering is a very small. You heard me say loitering is a very small crime, right? But anybody who loiter all day, how you eat?
Yeah. Good question.
Right?
How you beg.
Right? You beg. And you can only beg for a certain amount of time before you develop resentment.
Right.
Right? So all the kids with them outside a friendship with a beg. Everybody will tell them no. Is slowly accumulating an antisocial attitude.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, one of the guys told me with his own mouth. He said, when I'm small, I beg and tell me no. There was this particular person who told me no so often. When I got big, the first thing I did was rob him. Those I tell you of a person talk to me directly out of his own mouth. So the first thing I do. Because it slowly antisocial behavior creeps up on us. Right? So the problems I have with Belize City, number one, not enough green spaces.
And I would have gotten to that.
You have touched it vaguely when you talked about parks and playgrounds and the lack of that level of.
When I get into the climate resilient aspect, I'll highlight that for you.
Yeah.
So if I could
yes, proceed to that.
I started a little group with some mothers whose children were murdered senselessly, some being a part of a gang. We call ourselves One Struggle. I don't think the government, the ministry, others who haven't experienced this level of mayhem directly can step to you or me and tell me about something when they don't have no experience in, no understanding of. But you try to tell somebody not to grieve, how to grieve, and when the media houses have concluded the interviews, that mother, that family stays there, and they have to battle with the mayhem, the homicide, the horror, the trauma thereafter. So I brought all of these mothers together, one incident by incident, and I try to provide comfort. We comforted each other. We then brought in some of the guys who survived the mayhem, who lost limbs, who have the colostomy bag, the plastic bag. These guys need medication. They need help. Psychosocial, psychologically, the mothers, the grandmothers need help. They need help to cope with the situation they have faced. Because what if it was the breadwinner that was murdered senselessly, taken out?
It's a disaster.
A father
it's a disaster.
Left his family, they would think they would be left abandoned. Who rears the family? Who raises the child? And then the anger of the children. Why you kill my pa? You sweat my pa? What you think will happen when this young man realizes what happens? He need look for the nearest gun to go retaliate, and then the drugs thing takes effect, and the abuse of drugs, and then the streets eat you up because you want to hustle, you need to survive, and the only thing that's on your mind that revenge, anger, hate. There's no peace. So what I tried to do, and we were successful in doing, visiting the schools. If the kids are on track, stay on track. If you're off track, get back on track. We go into the communities, and just like the church, we're not the church, but we try to communicate with the guys them that either the cemetery, the jail, or you want to end up like this, and for the rest of your life, you want to look over your shoulder. So make we try bring calm and bring peace and bring some ease to the situation. The young men in the streets, I ask, because they have the organizational structure too, you know. You have to accept this and respect this. Look, do me a favor. These young kids out here needs to be in school. I want to work with you if you want to work with me. Please don't make we compound one bad situation to becoming worse because you entertain. The hood they entertain a child not going to school that should be in school. Make we get that child to school. We are calling human services, we are calling the police department. If we need to put the family in a check, we are putting a check. If we need to assign the church or some kind of counseling needs to be done or assistance, we need to look at that and foster that before we lose another generation to what Belize City is facing, and how you could bring everybody together to find that peace. I think that is one of the approach. I also believe I saw that this is a third approach. I saw a young man being beaten by an Asian fellow in a store. He probably shoplift. I don't know if it was a sanitizer or alcohol or shampoo, but I, as mayor, I would try to work with, I will work with the judiciary to say, here what man, look on this offense, look at the judgment. Would you be amenable to have him do community service for the rest of his sentence and then you reduce the time? Because of the nature of the crime. I know you tell you we're going to step in for heinous crime or serious crime or criminal acts. It is just to provide a level of security in trying to capture one more young person from being in this, being caught up in a system that is brutal and cruel. I prefer to try everything in my arsenal to save a child.
So intervention, right?
Right.
But what about for the guys anyway, criminal minded?
Because if that the root, it shouldn't be hard to say if you murder somebody, bro, and the street always know, maybe know more than what the police know. Bro, I can't do nothing to help you. You do this.
So is that where the Bukele approach comes in? Because
that is what I'm saying, yes. If you do that, you take somebody's life senselessly, you shouldn't do that. You know one of my rule of thumb is, I not give you life, and I shouldn't take one life. Right. So why take somebody's life and figure that your need for beat the system and just out there?
We'll take a break and then we are going to be back. So we're having a very, very good conversation with Phillip Willoughby. He is a candidate. He's an aspiring politician for the role of mayor of Belize City. And quite interesting, I love the idea of the attaching to the GST as opposed to the traditional way of non-performing. It's a low-performing tax. Property tax is a low-performing tax, and it has such political tie-in to it, right? So that this one, that one, so no go rough up that one, rough up that one, and it's not coming in at the percentage needed to develop the city to the extent. And so It's the first time I've heard it. I love it because I love people who think out of the box, and it's novel. We're going to take a break. We'll be back and continue the conversation. You're watching Rise and Shine on PlusTV. We'll be right back.
Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize.
Are you looking for financing on equipment, machinery, vehicles, parts, or tools for you or your business? Banquip and Belize Bank have partnered to make purchasing easier than ever with Belize Bank's convenient online loan application platform. Simply apply online, get fast and secure financing, and access the equipment or vehicle you need to keep moving forward. Even better, use the promo code when applying and enjoy a special promotional interest rate exclusively for Banquip customers. Whether you're upgrading your fleet, investing in new machinery, or purchasing essential parts and equipment, now is the perfect time to make it happen. Visit Banquip today and ask about Belize Bank online loan financing.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarterfinal winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Our police officers have a tough job. They work all the time, walking the streets, manning checkpoints, doing special operations in every neighborhood, in every community. They fight crime and keep the peace, serve and protect 24/7. Every day they put their lives at risk, facing hostility, aggression, judgment. And let's be honest, some of our neighborhoods are no joke. Some of our people are no joke. Let's try something different. Let's teach our children to respect the police, because the police have one job: to make our communities safer. And that's something we all want. We need to stop turning a blind eye when our children do bad things. We need to stop protecting the criminals. Belize is small, and in every neighborhood, we know who the bad people are. We know where the gangs, drugs, and guns are. Let's work with the police for the sake of our communities and to save the lives of our children. Let's be the village, all of us. We can have the Belize we want.
A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
Manholes play a critical role in keeping our sewage and drainage systems functioning properly. They allow our maintenance team to inspect, clean, and clear blockages. When covers are missing or compromised, the entire system and the public are placed at risk. Stealing or damaging manhole covers is a criminal offense and creates dangerous conditions on our streets and sidewalks. Motorists and drivers are reminded that it is an offense to park or drive on sidewalks. The weight of vehicles, large or small, can crack and dislodge manhole covers. In an ongoing effort to protect lives, property, and public infrastructure across Belize City, your Belize City Council continues its citywide manhole cover replacement program. Since the launch of this initiative, thousands of damaged or missing manhole covers have been replaced, improving safety, accessibility, and the overall appearance of our streets and sidewalks. Despite these strides, manhole covers continue to be stolen or damaged, creating serious risks for pedestrians and motorists, including severe injuries, traffic incidents, and damage to personal property. If you see a manhole cover that is broken, missing, or unsafe, report it immediately. Take a photo and share the location with us via WhatsApp at 673-9055 or by calling 227-2308. Remember, maintaining manhole covers requires a shared responsibility. Together, we can prevent accidents, protect public infrastructure, and keep Belize City safe for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home.
Very interesting conversation with Mr. Phillip Willoughby, aspiring candidate for Mayor of Belize City. And we thank you for tuning in this morning. Louis had to step out. We want to let all candidates know that this platform is open for you to come in. I think we've been having some brilliant ideas brought forth this morning. And so, Mr. Willoughby, let's get back to it. I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time.
What are some of the other things that you will bring to the table should you be elected, or you have to give people reasons to say, man, I think that would be my candidate or not?
I believe that the municipalities, in particular Belize City, should house the sex offenders registry because it is one municipality. And even if the government is hesitant in being forthcoming, even though they said it, they pronounced on it. Whilst attending HDC doing my paralegal studies, I wrote to the commission, the Constitutional Reform Commission, to advocate for the building and housing of a sex offenders registry that could be public for the municipality, namely Belize City. So
I see it in the United States.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah, that's where I became aware of it.
Yeah, that's where I saw it as well, being there. So I believe Belize City can house within the Belize City Council the sex offenders registry. I mean, once somebody is charged and sentenced, we can do it ourselves because it's public knowledge, it's reported in the news. I believe for the motoring public, where motorcycles are concerned, we need to label these helmets and we need to label a vest that once you are on a motorcycle, the public must be able to see the code on your helmet and the code on your vest.
That's good for crime.
Good for crime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also within the initiative to bring the communities together, we are looking at bringing back street games. This is street football, street basketball within the community, so we can build a stronger, better community, build the camaraderie there with families, and we can then rove over the entire city and do our utmost best to bring out the younger kids from the neighborhoods to try and reignite friendship, love, and support for those who have issues, and taking into consideration one side have one cousin, one side have one uncle. in the feud, in the beef. We need to even bring the family together. So it might sound silly and you might say, well, you need to bring families together. But even families have their feuding and beefing going on. I propose the use of 20 acres, of which I know where the land is, for a new market for Belize City. Okay. If you notice, the Michael Finnegan market has outgrown its capacity. Right. We have to block up the entire
so you have
canal
20
side.
acres in the city, or that's going to be outside the city?
In the city, where we could build a new market, a new traffic department, DMV, Belize City style. Right.
What would be the purpose of a new traffic department?
Because recall, the traffic department is down at the foot of the Bell China Bridge, and every quarterly, every yearly or semi-annually, the crowd, the lines of people outside, whether you do it online or otherwise, that's another thing, but you still have to go pick up. But to go down there and do all of that, I think the traffic department, the wardens, the management needs to look at a new home, state-of-the-art facility where they can provide traffic services to the residents of Belize City. Also within the area of the green spaces, 5 acres for Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's, I have a friend in New York, Joseph Contreras. He has Dave and Buster's in the lobby, so to speak. He is talking with them, exploring the idea of coming to Belize. Also, there's the Trampoline Zone City. I don't know if you've heard of them. They have the race karting indoors, all sort of jumping, sliding, climbing, gadgets, facilities. So let's try and get these facilities here in country to Belize. I also believe that your blood type should be on your driver's license or your social security card. And for purposes of being in an accident or emergency situation, for the first responders, they can identify your blood type, and that very well may save your life. I also want to propose that and legislate for the mandatory implementation of a toxicology test. Once you have been, I don't want to say a participant, once you have been in an RTA, you should do a toxicology test or use some mechanism, and if you evade the law for that, your license should be, there should be some penalty where your driver's license is concerned or your motorcycle license is concerned. We have to be strict in that effort, because if you take someone's life vis-a-vis being involved in an RTA and you're above the alcohol limits or you're inhibited, your judgment has been inhibited by some drug. Come on, you took a life. You should do that test to prove why you, and state the reason to you. You know, you take that person's life. You were high, you were under the influence of something. So we have to penalize that individual in that regard with their license. I know the system will penalize you with charging you grievous harm, manslaughter, without due care. No, we need to take away your license too.
Yeah, stiffer penalties.
Yes, sir. Put that in there. I believe that for fire victims, there should be a $5,000 grant. If you own your house burnt down, it is conclusive. The fire department did its investigation, the police department did its investigation, and it's a family home, it's your home. I believe the city should chip in and give you a $5,000 grant help to start you back off. No carry no bucket with no mop and broom and sanitization. No, you need one foundation, you need rigging, you need windows, you need help. So I believe, again, the city can help in that regard. Building a climate resilient city. But before I get there, I know we press for time. The closing of the 2 bridges in Belize City, the Swing Bridge and the Belcan Bridge, I hope that the city and the Ministry of Works would consider talking and lobbying with the BDF. There's a unit within the BDF, the Light Engineer Unit section.
I think on the Coast Guard.
And the Coast Guard. Then try reach out to South, come and see if we could get one of them military grade floating bridges to replace the bridge so that you don't stop or impede the free flow of vehicular traffic. I mean, if you close these two bridges in the time of a hurricane or emergencies, you just can't close down two bridges like that. I think more thought has to go into it. It should be a consideration. Please reconsider. I don't know what ultimately the plan is, if they will be building the temporary bridge to facilitate vehicular traffic. But if you are not considering that, please reach out to the BDF Southcom so we could get these military grade bridges that would facilitate the free flow of vehicular traffic. Just an idea to help the council.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Yes.
I think this is important. There are certain things right now I believe that are very important to the Belizean people. As it relates to character, your character-wise, let's talk about character, because you know when people go into politics, one of the first thing people look at, right? Well, what that is man track record. How is your track record in politics? What character-wise? Is there any dirt on you as an aspiring candidate?
Well, I ran for municipal government from 2006 to 2018. I ran 2 general elections. Put it out there, it would have been out there long before.
So there's no act of no little corruption thing in the background. Nowhere in
man, if that had existed, I think that would have been exploited long ago. So
what has been able to keep you like that? Can I ask? Because
to keep me
like
home.
I said, you say you have a good track
track
record in terms of your character as an aspiring candidate.
If the party would step up and identify good candidates, and I'm not saying any is bad if you're aspiring, but man, give Phillip Willoughby the support. And then we could say sky's the limit from there. Like I said, I don't know nobody that anything good has begotten, received, when ultimately they tried to ensure that I didn't fit her plug in. Like I said, Shine, everybody knows what Shine and I went through. He lost in myself. So consider me the stone that the builder forgot. I'm one of God's little blessings, so to speak. My faith is strong, and praying mothers and praying community, and the like. So when you try to take out the good, I don't want to say God does bad, but he turns off the light switch on the other side, so to speak. And I'm grateful for the blessings, and I'm grateful for his mercies. Also, I would like to see the bus drivers have a first aid training. Once you come into Belize City, every bus driver must have a first aid certificate. The city will provide the training, but you have to participate, because you never know what will occur or transpire with 40, 50 passengers on a bus. You must be able to hold over until a first responder arrives. In case there's no nurse or doctor available. Is there a doctor or a nurse on the plane? No, the bus driver must be able to at least provide some level of service to protect and save a life until the first responders or the EMT arrives at the scene. Bus accidents happen. Any number can play on a bus. So that is my proposal there. In speaking to the issue of climate resilience, if you recall, when a study was done for the Halover Creek Bridge by the Halco Group, at the time I was at Nemo, and if you would study the jet stream, you see these little arrows always on the weather forecast. It directs the wave action, and all that silt Just like in Belmopan here, when the creeks flood, sand blocks up culverts, blocks up the drain, fill up the drain. But what happened to the silt that comes out the Belize River from the Halover Creek? It goes down to the Swing Bridge Bay area in front of Southern Foreshore. If you recall, several years ago, that whole area was covered in silt and mud. That's one. Let's look at the Port of Belize project, the Deepwater Port, the low berth facilities for the proposed cruise ship. If let's say the seafloor is at 100 feet, when they build this new port, let's say it goes to 2,000 feet. I'm just giving estimate. I'm not saying this is it. But you can imagine the large volume of water will be sitting just in front of Belize City.
Yeah.
Take that into consideration. Let's look at the land clearing issue. When I was on the Land Utilization Authority led by Mr. Vallejos, we used to get into heated discussions in terms of the development of subdivision and what happens when you do these massive land clearings. In Belize City, you're cutting down mangrove that served as water catchment areas.
Yeah.
And you fill these land and it's high above the highway now. What happens to the volumes of water should we get rains, regular rains, torrential rain?
Goes into people's homes.
You see?
That's what's happening right now on the Western Highway.
So we have the land,
homes.
we have the land clearing issue, we have the climate change issue, and let's say degrees Celsius. If you do the regression analysis and it goes up +1, then you do 1.5, then you do 2 with global warming, what it is. By the year 2050 to 2080, what will Belize look like? Again, huge tracts of lands are being cleared, a deepwater port facility, correct? The silt coming down out of the Halover Creek, the sargassum impact and effects on the municipality. So what is the solution? I spoke with the architect and designer Christy Maestri, and my proposal is to select each political party, because we have to have continuity. 5 top engineers from this side, 5 top engineers from this side, and please, for God's sake, let's develop a master plan for Belize City where we want and our intention is to build a climate resilient city. Let's not just say climate resilience, so climate resilience and what would it do and what would it do? We need one plan. If it is with the people who own these land and you can't stop development, but the 4 fundamental pillars that focus on sustainable development, the environmental is key, economic, financial, right? So, if we look at this and the psychological, if we look at these 4 pillars, we need a plan and we need to create a balance. So we need to identify areas where we can put levees or canals or creeks to facilitate the ebb and flow, high tide, low tide for the city. We need a berm in front of Belize City. In the city of Orlando, Tampa has them. It protects the coastline.
I think New Orleans as well.
New Orleans have them. So we need a study to tell us where, how, capacity, size, strength for this berm to be built in front of Belize City. At least a study has to be done. And where do we put these levees, tributaries, waterways to facilitate the fast runoff of water whilst Belize City continues to develop? Right. We need a plan.
So that's
we
your climate
need resilient plan. We need a plan, and we need 5 engineers from the respective political parties so that we stick to this plan where development is concerned. We know the play with this. We shouldn't be pussyfooting around the discussion. Like I said, these ideas are for the strong at heart and the bold. The bold. if it is that we want to pass on something to the next generation,
Right.
we don't want to pass on our Venice or what we see happening in India, some parts of India, serious flooding in the Philippines and other countries.
I think we have a call, and then we have probably like 2 minutes. We need to wrap up. Time is going so fast.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Carla, good morning. Welcome to Rise and Shine. Please feel free to go ahead. There's no call? Okay, all right, there's no call. So we have 2 minutes, Mr. Willoughby.
Yeah.
Kind of almost went over time a bit.
Yeah, so
2 minutes you have to wrap up, right? So let's can you probably put everything
together.
together? Last shots that you want to leave.
Let's see if I can do this in a little Espanol. Damas y caballeros, en estos tiempos difíciles.
You sound correct.
Yeah. En estos tiempos muy duros, difíciles, Phillip Willoughby está aquí para usted. El amor ha vuelto. I'm simply saying, in these difficult times, we need to really consider and think. Yeah. And the love is here, and Phillip Willoughby is here for you all. Isete bono namolelu. I'm here to serve with a purpose and a passion. Yeah. That is probably my purpose. If not, then God will divert Phillip Willoughby into something else. But for now, I believe this is where I'm at. These are the things Belize City needs. I believe if the ideas are sound, solid, practical, and logical, I believe that the other municipalities can narrow it down to the state of affairs within their jurisdiction, but don't kill the ideas. We need these ideas. And within the building a climate resilient study, then we should look at the broad walk along the coastline. Then we can look at a beach. But you're not going to tell the citizenry, like, I want to show you one plum, but I want to build you one beach, you know. But if you know they build one climate resilient city, and one tsunami or one hurricane come, and you not got no safeguard, your beach and everything else will be lost. That investment will be lost. But we need to protect our coastline first and foremost. We need to protect the citizenry. We need to create a modern e-city, yes. But the only way we can do that if the council has the wherewithal, the financial wherewithal to do it, and the only safeguard that will allow us to do that is that the central government has to sign into law and legislate the UNCAC laws, and then everything else should fall into place, and then good governance will reign. So your audience, yourself, can find the adjective to describe my character and the ideas I have. If you believe they can work, let's do it.
That's right. All right. Well, it's a pleasure having you here, Mr.
Yes,
Phillip Willoughby. He's an aspiring candidate. It's not yet finalized. There's some work to do inside the United Democratic Party.
Right.
As to who will be that candidate, we know Ms. Jackie Willoughby is also an aspiring candidate.
Yes, sir.
And we want to, again, make it known that this platform is open for Mrs. Willoughby or people from the People's United Party to come in and share their ideas. What I would love to see, Mr. Willoughby.
Debate?
A debate. You pick it out of my mouth. A debate is what we need.
Long time. I would hope that the tertiary level institutions would host it at all levels. Test our accounting, our economic, our emotional intelligence, our intellectual aptitude, our capacity to lead.
That's right.
Because for some of us, this is outside our capacity, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just to say that Phillip Willoughby have one master's and he pursue one second and have all the accolades. No. Make we see where the others have. And maturity, seniority, experience. And if you don't have it, boss, then you step aside and support me. Because the ideas is what the city needs at this time.
That's right. You need leadership. We in a GLS, we say everything rise and fall, Belize. at the hand of the leader, right? So you have to also be willing to take the storm that comes with it.
Right.
But, you know, every good thing must come to an end. And again, we want to put the invitation out for all candidates. We hope and pray that there will be a debate. I think a debate will be so beneficial and meaningful to the residents of this country, not just your city, the country will listen to it. And so, thank you for joining us this morning.
To my friends home and abroad in New York, Joe, top of the morning, my brother. Hope everybody is okay out there. Friends in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tampa, Orlando. I can't call everybody name. Miami. You know, I have to big you up. Take care, be safe. And here's the experience, man.
That's right. And God bless all of you guys. Until tomorrow morning, we're going to see you right here back again on Rise and Shine. Good morning.
Yeah, man. Calling people.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the